All right, how's everybody doing?
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to our Financial Wellness Ministry monthly conversation. Everybody that's watching on social media, if you all can do me a favor and go ahead and begin sharing the post, I would appreciate it extremely. So again, welcome to the Financial Wellness Ministry. I'm at Greater Bethel AME Church, our monthly conversation to equip you, empower you with the resources um, so that you can improve your health financially. Our coordinator is Kiara Hall. And if you're watching, please share the post so that those that are within your circle, your sphere of influence, this is information that they can add to their portfolio. I'm going to now place it in the hands of our coordinator, Kiara Hall.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Uh,
Good to see your beautiful faces. I'm super excited to share the presentation I'm going to share today about building a strong financial house. It's going to be geared towards millennials, but the different things that I'll be sharing are, I would say, very helpful for everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. And let me see. Uh-oh. I'm the co-host. Let's see. Let's see. Share. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. A little technical difficulties. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share. And pull my screen up and put it in presentation mode. There we go. Can everybody see the screen pretty good?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So this is a presentation I'm going to share, and I'm going to like breeze through it, but it's really going to be about like conversation. And although the presentation is geared towards millennials, I feel like it's helpful for everyone. And the reason why is because if we could come together and all lift each other up, like we all know someone and we, if you could be that person to hold their hand and be there to assist them, you can make a difference. And you don't have to be a financial professional to be able to share a bit of advice for smart young adults to help them get it together financially. My dad does this a lot. He's not a licensed financial professional, but he just took his experience and he shares helpful tips with people and helps them get things in order. So, so financial preparation. So for the discussion outline, basically, I'm going to talk about financial struggles, insights on saving money, a little bit of the spending habits of millennials, and then I'm going to bring it home with just talking about building a strong financial house and what that looks like and what are those key parts of the budget that are very important to be there. So what is financial preparation? So I'm going to open this up for discussion because I don't want to just go through and talk the whole time. I feel like we got a lot of knowledge in the room. So what does financial preparation look like?
Well, I think it's just like we prepare with anything. If I'm preparing a meal, first I find out, okay, what is it I'm trying to do? It's a meal that what's the purpose of the meal? And then begin to prepare a meal to meet that purpose. And so I think with financial preparation, I first got to have an idea of what is it that I'm trying to do with my life and where do finances fit in to what I'm trying to do with my life. And my preparations ought to be in line with what the role that I'm trying to get finances to play, and where I want to be in my life.
I love it. I love it. You making my job easy. Does anybody else have any insight they want to share on what is financial preparation? Uh-oh, Roxy, you're muted.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Financial preparation for me is having a blueprint. First of all, deciding the direction that I would like, first of all, to establish a goal. And with the goal, I can keep that in front of me. So, and then with that goal, what direction do I want to go in? Do I lay that foundation and build on top of it, and then on top of it, and then set benchmarks? What period of time? Within 5 years, I would like to be at this particular point in my towards my goal. In 10 years, in 15 years. And as I go along, making adjustments, even if I don't achieve what I set out to achieve within that 5 years or 10 years, to be a little bit flexible and make some adjustments along the way. But first of all, I have to have that blueprint and a goal. Then I know what direction I'm going in.
This is so good. It's simple. It's powerful. I hear, getting clear on the goal, making the plan so that your decisions can line up with it. And so I remember when I first started my career in financial services, it would take me 1.5 or more hours to really help someone put together a financial game plan. And that was actually just like starting it, not fully putting the whole thing together. It was really tedious. It was like, that was just like the plan, but not actually like helping them implement all the different things. So it's really tedious, multiple hour thing. And something that I'm super excited about is technology. Millennials love technology. And there was a millennial who wanted to do financial services, but they did not like the tedious process and they thought there must be a better way. And out of that frustration came a phenomenal invention that I use now. And so super excited that I get the chance to help people, come up with their goal, assess their plan, and really get clear on what's needed. And be able to have those talking points on a handful of ways that can improve their finances. So at the end, I'll be displaying my contact info, but if someone is interested in getting help with that, I have a phenomenal tool, and I think it's really good. Like, even myself as a financial person, I went to someone outside of myself, and I think it's really helpful to go to someone who's not in your financial situation to help see it from a different perspective and to help you with your goals and coming up with a game plan to hit your financial goals. So that is a tool that I use to help people prepare their finances. It's basically a technology. It's an intuitive survey that allows people to answer some questions. It takes about 5 minutes. And then after that, I'm able to quickly assess and see what their situation is and quickly offer some improvements that can help someone with their financial goals. So one of the challenges is many millennials have a hard time finding a job after college. And especially one to where they can actually afford to pay back their student loans. And with that, with low wages and student loans and the debts, being in the mortgage industry, not being able to approve people because of their student loans to buy a home. And it is a sad situation. And there definitely needs to be a shift in managing money and thinking about money. I remember when I went to school, the debt was not really real to me. It was easily available. It's like you could get a student loan. But I didn't realize the impact. And I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but because of interest rates on student loans, there are people who are coming out of college, and 10 years after college, the debt that they originally had is double. Mm-hmm. And for some people, they, don't have a savings. They're having a hard time finding a job that allows them to pay their student loans adequately. And inflation is steadily going up, but the wages are not going up. But there definitely needs to be a shift in focusing on saving. And so the way that I know is, one, to talk about it, but it also takes intentionality. And so I want to take a pause right now and just see, how can millennials save money with the circumstances? What are some ideas? How can, these people who are coming out of college with all this debt save money? And I have some feedback and answers, but I do want to hear what everyone else's feedback and thoughts are, or ideas, or how millennials can save money.
I think one of the first things you can do to save money is learn how to manage what you have. And so whereas money might not be going directly to a place, but learning how to manage what you have in your hands, and make sure you understand where expenses are going, and then once you get that under control, then you can go to the next step of saving money. So saving money is not always, in my mind, is putting it somewhere, but I think the first step is getting an understanding and learning how to manage what's already going out.
That is so important. Yes, Roxy.
And just to add to that, I think too, what Pastor is saying, come up with a budget. Decide what's coming into your household, and decide how you can, there may be some things that's coming in that maybe you can do without. Maybe instead of eating out or grabbing a fast sandwich on the way. Maybe you can, the food that you have at home, take your lunch to work rather than, grabbing a maybe coffee or McDonald's on the way. I think that adds up over a period of time. So, establishing that budget, I'm going to spend so much on food or clothing. Maybe a way in terms of clothing, people may want something brand new, but you get some really great buys in thrift shops. You can maybe go to a thrift shop, and maybe if you went into the store to buy maybe a dress or a shirt at a thrift shop, it may cost less. And that's, another way of just trying to keep your outlay, keep it in order or limit it. I'm just trying to think of any other, in terms of maybe a rental, shop around. Maybe you may want this very nice place and it's convenient. Maybe compare what the rentals are going for in your area. In terms of transportation, I don't know if you speak of a person that has a car, or maybe is there a possibility that they may be able to walk, or maybe bicycle, you're getting exercise. So try and look at what's coming in and see if you could live at your means or below your means rather than above, and not look at what the other person has or what they're doing. Keep focus on what your goal is.
Yeah, that is so good. I remember my very first license I got was my life insurance license. And I had this teacher, her name was Christina. And I love Christina. I'll never forget her. And one of the things she used to always say is like, KISS. Some people say keep it simple, stupid, but she's like, no, that's mean. She always said, keep it super simple. And really, when it comes to finances, it is super simple. And so one thing that someone can do, which is super, super easy, is first just see where they stand and adjustments might need to be made. So like literally taking like, okay, this is how much I get paid in the month. And then here goes all the bills and all the things I spend money on: gas, groceries, bills. And then laying it out and seeing what happens. Are you in the negative, like the red, or are you right at zero, or is there some space? And then what ends up happening is if there's money left over, then that means that money is being spent and we're not really sure what the money is going to, because it doesn't align in all the things that we regularly get, like our bills and groceries and things that we need. And so once we are aware, we'll do better. So what you focus on grows. What you track, you're able to be successful with. And so if you track your money, you can start being successful in money. Because even if you're in the negative, now okay, either there's two things. Either one, I need to increase my income, and you know exactly how much you need to increase it by. Or two, maybe you don't want to increase your income. So then you say, okay, I need to make some adjustments because I'm not about to work extra. I'm not doing anything extra. I need to make some adjustments. I need to decrease what I'm doing so that I can thrive financially, save money. And it all comes back to just tracking. And the beautiful part is you can always track. Now, it may be the middle of the month. It's not too late to track. If you got some money in your bank account, you can start tracking and start planning and prepping for the next month. But savings, I believe it goes back to having a budget. And then something that I do for myself is I automate my savings. So the way that I automate it, so with my company, and like a lot of people might have this, So with my company, we have this thing called MAPS. So I'm a business owner, but I work with a company that helps with my structure and taxes and all that type of stuff. And we have this thing called MAPS, Money Accumulation Program, or MAP, no S at the end. And what I'm able to do is whenever I get paid, I'm able to pick a percentage that I just want to automatically go into like my money market, my Roth IRA, like my different investment accounts. And so I do 20%. And so because I don't earn like a set amount every month, basically I'm just programming that, hey, I made 1,000. Like when I got paid, I only see 800 of it just automatically right off top. And so something that millennials can do is that they have the 401k at their job or any type of program where they can just enroll in it and a percentage of the income just automatically goes into saving. That's super helpful as well to be able to automate the savings and take advantage. Like a 401k, that's free money. They say they'll match 3%. You put in 300, which is 3%. You just got a $300 free money because they're matching it. And so taking advantage of that 401k, 403b, all the different programs that you have through a job are amazing. If you don't have a job, or maybe your job doesn't have benefits, I do what's called PACs for people. And basically all that is a pre-authorized checking. And we set up your savings like a bill. So, some people tell me, oh, okay, I'll do 50 a month, 100 a month, 500, 1,000 a month, and just automatic. Okay, on this day of the month, this bill is coming out. And it's just good because now you're treating your savings like a bill. And you're like, okay, my savings bill is coming up. It is coming out the account. And so you're putting a place for it before it's there. And that just helps you to be more successful, because when it comes to doing the right things, the truth is that you can do the right things when you're excited, but then when the excitement dies off, it's easy to fall back into old ways. And so in creating new habits, we want to also create automations, ways to make those habits easier and kind of like multitasking. Like, so for example, one of my goals is to get 10,000 steps a day, but the type of work I do is really just like phone calls and emails and paperwork sitting at a computer. But one of my work tasks is to make phone calls. And so what I do to try to automate it is like, okay, when I make phone calls, I'm going to go outside and I'm gonna go on a walk. And like one day I wore like cute shoes to the office, and then my feet were hurting when I was trying to walk in those shoes. Like they were cute, but my feet hurt. So now what I do is I put on sneakers. I'm like, nobody's looking at my feet. I put on sneakers to just make it easier just to like walk. And so how can we make things easier for finances? One, we can get around financially responsible people, because they're going to help keep us conscious about financial choices we make. We can automate our savings. We can enroll in that plan at work. But that's how millennials can save. And last but not least, there are so many ways we can create our income, like increase it. When I was in elementary, high school too, really pretty much majority of my kids' years, I used to sell candy. I go to Sam's Club and I'll get a big case of Airheads and all that. Then I come and sell it for like 25 cents for each Airhead, and $1 for a pack of Skittles. I buy in bulk, and now I was able to profit making the candy. Some of you may be really tech savvy. You can create an online course. If you have a knowledge base or a skill or something you're really knowledgeable in, you can create an online course and sell it through, like Teachable or something. You could do something like me, to where you decide, you're going to build a business and recruit and train and develop agents, and be able to create income through distribution. So there are so many different ways. You could get a degree to get a higher paying job. You can get a certification, you could get a license, but through successful habits, budgeting, having a goal, finding ways to increase income, those are all ways that millennials can save. And honestly, I'm saying millennials, right? But this applies to everybody.
Yeah, yep.
It applies to everybody.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the slide because I feel like I'm dipping and dabbing into other slides. So one thing millennials should know about saving is like interest rates, they rack up. They rack up. And so when it comes to interest rates, one way you could save money is by being weary of those deals that say 0% interest to a certain date and buying something that's outside of what you typically can buy. And then thinking that you're going to pay it off when in reality, you probably won't. And the credit card companies know that. And so they use those tricks to get you. And then the time period goes by and next, you know, that interest is racking up. And so be wary of that because that will cost you a lot of money, which will prevent you from saving money. And really, when it comes to saving, the best time to save is now. And you can start small. You can start very small. And just building that successful habit. And saving should be a daily conscious habit. And what I mean by it should be a daily conscious habit is this. Couponing, you know, like Roxy was talking about, comparing prices. Sometimes I see something in the store. If it's something that's a little bit more expensive, I'll check on Amazon, Walmart. I'll check on a couple different websites, get the best price. And a lot of places, they'll price match. So like Best Buy, let's say you really like, I love Best Buy, right? They got good warranty, good customer service. You could find something, let's say Walmart sells it cheaper. You can go to Best Buy and they'll match the price. So those are like different ways we can save just by being mindful and bargaining, basically. We can bargain. We can, you know, and like Roxy was saying, I love it because at thrift stores, you can find some like real good stuff that you normally spend a lot of money on. And I love stores like Ross and different things like that. And believe it or not, I've gotten some stuff from Walmart and it'll be like a $12 dress and I'll get so many compliments. And so you can still style, like be stylish and not have to spend a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to go to the next slide. You want to make a comment?
You talk about savings. Should there be money put aside in case an emergency comes up so you won't be tempted to go back into that savings and pull that out?
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And so what the emergency fund does is it gives us that buffer so that when things come up, it doesn't like wreck our whole plan. And then we feel all discouraged, like, dang. Or, you know, unfortunately, what many people feel more comfortable doing is like, oh, well, you know, I got my credit card. So emergency come up, I just put it on the credit card. But we really want to begin to save and establish an emergency fund.
Kiera, do you think, Sister Thompson, do you think it's better to have like a car warranty or to save the money in the bank to repair your car?
You know what?
I was wondering about that.
On the math. My car warranty so far has saved me a good chunk of money. And the other thing is this. It might be good to have the warranty until you have the savings, because then it's a cost, like it's a factor. So like, for example, if the warranty costs me $40 a month, right? And let me pull my calculator out. So if it costs me $40 a month, that is $480 a year.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years, that'll be $1,440. if in those 3 years something happens that needs to get fixed that's worth more than that, then I've actually saved money.
Right.
And in my experience, it's just stuff can just happen to your car. And so it really just depends. It just depends on just understanding, like, also what type of car do you have? Because some people's cars cost way more to fix.
Yes.
Especially if it's like a foreign car. That warranty might really help you out, because like one fix on a foreign car could cost, 4 years worth of warranty payments. So I personally like insurances as long as it's worth it. Now, one insurance that I'm debating about canceling, not sure yet, but the cell phone warranty. And the only reason why I'm debating about canceling it is because there's so many like small businesses now who will fix your phone for like the same price the warranty will charge you. And you're paying like a certain amount every month. In addition to them still charging like the same amount, where I could have just went to this person, they would have fixed it. So I wouldn't really give like a yes or no. It's just, does the math make sense? So if my warranty costs $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. Well, if something went wrong with my engine, how much would that cost? If something wrong with this, how much would that cost? And I have had enough like car repairs that needed to happen to where like, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want a warranty, because even if I did have $2,000 in savings, like I just got my car in November and I've already had to use the warranty like twice.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm getting my money worth with them. So it just kind of depends on your comfort level, how things go. Me, I don't know a whole bunch about cars. I have a person who is super affordable when it comes to fixing the cars, but sometimes it could be a bit slow. And so being I got 4 young kids, I'm like, I need my car. So my warranty gets me a rental car. They fix it pretty quick. That convenience is a factor, like even if you save money, like, is it convenient? So I don't really have a yes or no answer.
Yeah, I know, because some of them are ridiculous, even for American cars, because they was trying to charge me $145 a month for the van. My van is 2012.
You said $144 a month for the warranty?
$145. Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, I'll put it in the bank.
And I think it depends on like how much the warranty is, because my warranty is around like 40 or 50 a month. So that's what I was like, I think it depends on like the warranty and what are the benefits of it, and like just like that cost analysis, and like the question becomes, is it worth it?
Yes.
So it might be worth it for somebody who has like a 2018 newer car and things could kind of cost, but it might not be worth it for somebody who's like car is paid off and nothing really is expensive to fix it. So it just,
Yeah.
And I wonder if warranty is probably more expensive for like less expensive for newer cars and more expensive for older cars, I would imagine.
I believe so. It's more expensive for older cars.
Yeah.
Thank you. You answered my question.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So when it comes to savings, I like to use the 3 bucket rule. You got your long-term, emergency, and short-term, but I'm just showing just like your long-term, which is your Roth IRA. If you're under 50 years old, you can put in up to $500 a month in a Roth IRA. And a Roth IRA is a federal tax code that allows you to not have to pay state and federal taxes. And then your emergency fund, if you don't have it, you want to race to 1,000 as fast as possible. Cut back, sacrifice, get to that 1,000, and then you can start being more modest and aggressive. But you want to build that hedge of protection by getting the emergency fund. If you're over 50, you're allowed to put in $583 a month into a Roth IRA. And basically what that means is that, when you retire, all the income that has grown on that investment, that you don't have to pay taxes on it. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yes.
You have have $1 million that builds up in your Roth IRA, and you don't have to pay taxes on that million. But if you had it built up in something else where you did have to pay taxes, you could be paying $150,000 in taxes. So Roth IRA is powerful, but the government only allows us to take advantage of so much. They're like, we're not going to let you put an unlimited amount of money in this. We're going to bring it to $500 a month. And there's other ways to be able to like backdoor and fund and like do different things, but this is like the basics of a Roth IRA. And so millennials spend a majority of money on things. The majority of the money. And only 15% of the money goes towards like ensuring their future. And so definitely got to do better. And characteristics of money smart people are future oriented, calculated, patient, and able to delay gratification. So future oriented, everybody mentioned it earlier, the goals, thinking about the future, calculated, budgeting, making plans, thinking things through, even what we were just talking about with, does it make sense, and like doing the calculations, and able to delay gratification. And so three habits of money smart people are: they plan and budget wisely, they live within their means, and they always find additional income sources. The more income you have, and especially if you're like already got a budget, you're planning, all that excess is all income that could go towards future goals. And so where your money should go monthly, you have your savings, of course, bills and utilities. Insurances are important in that emergency fund. And then once the emergency fund is fully funded, then you can stop putting it towards emergency fund. A fully funded emergency fund is 6 months of living expenses. So if you make $3,000 a month, that's $18,000 in emergency fund on a minimum. And some even like to have a year of emergency fund expenses. So if you ever get laid off or anything happens, you have that stability and that cushion that you need. And so you should continue funding your emergency fund past $1,000 with the goal of saying, hey, if I make $5,000 a month, well, I want $60,000 in my emergency fund. So, like we said, controlling impulse purchases. And last but not least, I just want to talk about the financial house structure. So when it comes to building a financial house, on the basis of our financial house, we have our insurances. That's our life, auto, home, legal insurance, those protections in place to help us from being a victim or being weak when it comes to financial liabilities. And then we have our emergency fund, we have debt elimination, retirement planning, college saving for kids. Notice I say retirement planning before college savings for kids. Kids can get scholarships. There are no scholarships for retirement. And so we want to prioritize our retirement planning, because if not, we'll be leaving that burden on our kids. We're putting ourselves in a position where retirement is not enjoyable. And then last but not least, our roof, that's like our will, living will, power of attorney. And then like our little chimney that pokes out the roof, that's all the fun stuff. Vacations, dream house, planning. And so it's just making sure we have that structure of our house where we're taking care of important things and making sure that we're focused on that. And then we can have fun with peace of mind, knowing that our financial future is solid. And so I'm super excited. I hope that from this lesson today, somebody's able to stop living from paycheck to paycheck, save at least 3 months of pay, and always save the maximum when you can, and diversify your investment portfolio. And if you would like to get in touch with me, my phone number is 352-226-7301. Feel free to text or call with any questions. And now I'm just going to open up the door for any comments or questions.
Kiara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
All right, I came in kind of late. I usually get some nuggets. I got a few nuggets, but I just want to throw something at you. I know we pressing time. Maybe you could come back with me in the next just to give you something to think about. I'm listening to I'm 60 years old and I didn't make a lot of good investments. I wasn't thinking about times like this. So do you have can give me something maybe next time on how after 60, can we get in the game some kind of way? You know what I mean? It's, like a 10 years, something. Because people living to be, hundreds of years, I'm just saying something way it ain't too late to get in the game, that you
Yeah.
didn't make no good investment. Is it something out there for us latecomers?
Yes.
A plan? You don't have to really get into it tonight because I know it's late, but I'm just sitting here thinking about that.
I got time. I can get into it.
Okay.
So there's two games to building wealth. There's a long-term game and then there's a shorter one. The long-term game to building wealth is like mutual funds. They have averaged pretty good rate. They are diverse. You're able to grow your wealth, but really time is your friend. Because the more time you have, the more money your money is able to compound. So if you're in your 60s, like, okay, well, I don't have all that time to see my money compound the way that I need to. So you can still participate in that because everything you do is positive and beneficial and helpful. But in addition to that, one of the ways that that you can build wealth, because I don't think it's ever too late to anybody, is to build a business. And so you can speed up that time frame when you get yourself in a position to where you can begin to delineate your ability to produce income from your time. So what that basically looks like is, let's say that you created an online course. Now the income that you can produce from the course is not correlated with the time that you spend doing it. There are people who, can make, 10, 20, 50, 80,000 in a month because they had some knowledge in something. They were able to get it organized, put it out there, and now that produced income for them. One of the things about when you work a job or you're self-employed, many times your hours is attached to your income. So the more hours you spend, the more money you make. But if you want to get there faster, now it requires work, and there are some opportunities that are, better than others, and some can be very expensive to do it. But building a business can give you that opportunity where you can speed up that time frame, and now your income that you're producing is no longer depending on how much time you're putting into it, which means that you now have unlimited income potential. Because if you have a really creative idea, you sell books or create t-shirts, or like me, distribution system, to where I'm in the business of not just doing financial services, but my main business is helping people become financially independent through building a financial distribution system by creating agents. I only have 24 hours in a day, but if I got 10 agents on my team, now I got 240 hours in a day. Now my income is not just dependent on my work. So you can either get sales working for you, where there's a product that is going out, or you can get people working for you. The way that I'm doing it is a way where you don't need a big startup cost. But if you got a lot of money, you could buy a franchise. Franchise system's already built. You don't have to put the sweat equity in. You just got to put the capital in. But so there's different ways, but I like Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about the cash flow quadrant. On the left side, you have employee, self-employed. And then on the right side, you have business owner and investor. And 95% of the wealth is owned by the right side, business owner, investor. But 95% of people are on the left side, employee and self-employed. And something I'm really excited about is when you build a business, you're not just doing something just for you right now. So your efforts, like I was telling my daughter yesterday, because she's like, Mommy, you always doing appointments and stuff. You know, she was talking junk. Because I was even at her gymnastics, but I was like working. And she was like, you were supposed to be looking at me the whole time. Because I looked at her sometimes, but I guess she kept catching me when I wasn't looking. And I told her, I said, Bella, I'm sacrificing my today for your tomorrow. And so, Bella, I'm working hard to build this business and build this system. Because guess what? Right now, you're a little mad that I'm not looking at you every minute for this whole 2-hour gymnastic practice. But I said, I will pay attention at the competitions. I'll be focused on the competitions, Bella. But I said, right now, I am sacrificing my today for your tomorrow. And you're going to be very happy when I'm able to give you a house, you get married and you're able to get a house and you have this business is being passed on to you. And when you're older, you can decide what you want to do without the pressure of trying to figure it out financially because I passed you on a business. And one of a lady who I really admire, she passed away 11 years ago. And I'm following her footsteps of what she built. She passed away 11 years ago, yet the business that she built still pays her family over $60,000 a month. And so I look at people like Warren Buffett and like people who built these businesses and built wealth. And the truth is, they are people. There's nothing special. They are people who put in the work, and that really the difference is in here.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have this 3 pounds of like gray matter. And our life is a result of our subconscious thinking. In the Bible, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And now science goes to show that scripture is actually scientifically accurate. And so in our mind, it's like a computer. And on a computer, whatever you're putting in is displayed on the screen, but our display is our life, the results of our life. And so I'm just so excited because we have unlimited potential. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And even as a 60-year-old, you could start and build a business that you can leave for legacy for your family for generations, even as a 60-year-old. Because you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. And as a man thinking, so is he. And so then the question becomes like, that sounds great, right? But I'm really big on like, okay, how then? How do I get what's right in here? And the biggest thing is, what do we say when we're talking to ourselves? And the truth is, the average child between the ages of 1 to 18 has been told no over 148,000 times. So negative programming, been told more times what they cannot do than what they can do. And it's just, there's so many ways people are programmed. They overhear their parents talking and their parents says, oh, she just give us trouble. That is programming that child, that they're just giving trouble. And so when I learned this, I'm like, okay, I got to be more intentional of what I'm saying, because I'm literally programming my child, because the program that we have, majority of it doesn't even come from us. It comes from the people around us, the world, what we hear, the TV, our growing up. And so how can we fix it if we don't like the programming? The way you know you don't like the programming is if you look at your life and you don't like the results you're getting. So the way that we change the programming, there's only 2 ways: erase it and replace it. So how do we replace it? Well, the way that we erase it, I got to figure that out because I'm still reading a book. So I haven't figured out how to erase it. But I know how to. The way we replace it is we recognize, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, oh, well, I can't do that. Did that thought pop up? Maybe on some of this stuff I'm talking about, well, I can't do that. I don't know. Maybe not me. Maybe her. She's young. that popped up. That's programming, that's thinking. And so the way I replace it is I become aware of what I'm thinking. And then I begin to meditate on new things. In Philippians 4:8, it talks about meditating on things that are pure, holy, noble, true, like all the good stuff. And so the way that I reprogram myself is I get very intentional about what I'm saying to myself. I do affirmations. I speak those things that be not as though they are. I am speaking to myself. And when I catch myself thinking in ways that I shouldn't be thinking, 10 times a day, I'm writing out my affirmations. I'm saying it. I'm getting aggressive with the programming that's in my mind that has just come from just life. And I'm being intentional because I realize now that, oh my gosh, I am the captain of my ship. I can steer and guide my life. I can begin to take control of what I'm thinking, what I'm pouring into my mind, being really intentional. The Bible is so powerful. And I've been guilty of not reading it every day. But that is the worst thing that we can do, is to not read the Bible every day. Because the Bible is sharper than a double-edged sword. The Bible is able to cut off those things that are not supposed to be there and help purify us and help us be good and help us to grow and think better and do better. And so reading the Bible every day, we can begin to shift our thinking and reading it with this heart of humility, saying, okay, God, I know I think this way, but if this is not the way I'm supposed to be thinking, help me. Coming with that humility. And really finances, it goes back to the mind. Getting healthy, it goes back to the mind. Everything goes back to the mind. And so if I can begin to take control of my mind and be intentional, and the thing about it is have you ever read a book? It motivated you. You started doing some good things and then you fell off and went back to your old ways. I'm guilty of it. I've gotten lots of books. I read it. It's fresh. It's good. I'm doing it. And then I fall off. And so it's a daily intentionality, a daily focus, we have to work on it. And then what happens is we begin to write those affirmations. We're speaking it. Also, we're like I was talking about with the savings, we're automating good habits, automating it to where we make it fit. We make it easier. Now, by doing that, I'm putting myself in a position to whereby I can automate it. And I love this thing called the T-bar process. It says thoughts become beliefs, becomes actions, become results. And so many times when we change our results, we immediately think to change our actions. But the issue is, if we don't change our thinking, the actions will only stay for so long until something happens that kind of shakes us up and puts us right back to where we were. And so we have to begin to automate our actions by first dealing with our thinking, which changes our beliefs. And when we change our thinking, change our beliefs, it's easier to eat healthy. So I used to eat ice cream from McDonald's like every day, either McDonald's, Dairy Queen, or Sonic's, like every day, because I love ice cream. But I started working on my mind about health and understanding how the body works and how to be satisfied. So when I started working on my mind and I started believing like, oh my gosh, I could be satisfied. My taste buds can be happy without necessarily eating that. So now my actions are, I don't stop by and get an ice cream. Now, let me tell you, I still do get ice creams. I get like the Weight Watchers ice creams, because sometimes I think what we do is we try to like change something and we like take away, but we never add. Mm-hmm. So we have to add that replacement so that we're not hurting ourselves and like so anyway, I could go on and on and on. I'm like super passionate about mindset, the root of everything. But I see there's a question. I see somebody.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to raise my hand on this computer.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it's raised.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, everybody. I am in August going to be 72.
Oh, you look good.
That's a miracle for you to even say that.
Yes.
That's a whole, and it's my mind. But anyway, that's not the question. The question is, I love what the gentleman said before me, because I've been in ministry since 1978, married to a pastor. When he went to heaven in 2009 and I began to take over his part that he left for me to do, I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, where's the retirement for the pastors? There's nothing, no framework for that. So I began to do what you said as far as creating business. And so I have businesses. And during COVID, I wrote my curriculum for emotional literacy right here. So I did a pilot in February, went phenomenal. But when you're saying, online, it's a lot of words to say, but I know the time is pressing now. But I see you are a distribution.
So I'm building a financial distribution company. So specific to finance.
Okay. So does your company help to cause businesses to manifest? I'm great at dreaming and I'm great at doing, the corporate papers and stuff like that. But giving the brick and mortar and, staff, not so good. Changing my mind on that. So I love what you were saying tonight, because now I'm focused on my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Because it's too late for me to focus on me in this way. So now I just heard about a federal fund. It's a bond where you cannot lose your principal. The minimum you can put in there is $50 and it's 8%. And so I'm thinking about something like that for my grandchildren. What do you think about bonds in relation? Because you said something about some other kind of investment. You said mutual funds. So the difference between a mutual fund and a savings bond is?
So there are mutual funds that are strictly from bonds. So the difference would be a bond would just be like one company, whereas a mutual fund would one company or one like organization, for lack of better words, whereas a mutual fund is a whole basket of them. So instead of having like one, I could have like a diversified mutual fund that might have like 75 companies in one. So I have that diversity. So that's the difference. And then in regards to helping someone like you, I think you would benefit from the technology. And I have somebody who I want to refer you to.
Okay.
She is my personal business coach. She has helped business owners be very profitable and produce success. She's a Christian too. And she's just really good at what she does. And so the name of her business is Crush the Box. And her name is Michelle Holloway. But in regards to you, I think the part I could help with is the financial planning side and kind of like getting those pictures of the long-term goals and like looking at, okay, what do you want to look like and what does it take for that to happen for your grandchildren? That's how I can help. And then as far as like your businesses and bringing things to fruition, a business coach could be very helpful. And I can give you a recommendation of somebody who I think is great.
Okay, so Michelle Holloway's business is something box, you said?
Yes, the name of her business is Crush the Box.
Crush the Box? Okay.
Yeah, so crush and create, like essentially like crushing the boxes that are like weighing you down and like creating the space, to like thrive.
So is she on Facebook or something? We can get her to her or something?
She is. You could type in Crush the Box on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so good. Thank you. This was great.
You're welcome. And yeah, I think that it's beautiful that you're thinking about your grandchildren. And I also think it's not too late for you either. You still have life.
Yes, definitely. A lot of it. But it's legacy for me right now.
Yeah.
It's all about legacy.
Yeah. And one of the beautiful things is when working on you, you can still create legacy. So for example, let's say that somebody, worked on them and they built up $1 million in their own personal Roth IRA. And when they passed away and they leave that Roth IRA to their family, the beneficiaries, that $1 million, somebody literally, could take that $1 million, pull off $100,000 a year for the next 48 years. And the balance of the investment account be way more than it even started out with, pull out more than was in, and the balance more than it started with. And so while building our wealth, we have beneficiaries to our wealth. And so in the midst of that, we're still creating and building legacy by building.
I love that. I love it. Thank you. That's what I would experience.
Amen. Amen. Yes, Roxy.
And I know you're probably pressed for time, Millennials. Another way of adding more money to their, how can I say this, their monthly income. I know a lot of people will say when they file their tax return, they always look for their refund. So if individuals consistently get a refund, what they may want to do is go back and adjust their withholdings. So this one they'll get in their paycheck, because when you get that refund from IRS does not give you your refund in interest. So the information, or I should say the money that they're withholding less, you can take some of that money and put it towards your savings or emergency or whatever. So I just want to make that comment in terms of, because that's what I used to do.
That is so good. I tell that to my clients all the time. I didn't even think about sharing that here. That is so good. That is so good. And I always let my clients know, like, I'm not a tax professional. So, of course, but
I work in internal revenue, so that's why I know that.
Yes. Oh, wow. It's totally true. It's true.
Here, before you shut down, I just want to put a little bug in your ear. I on information to give. I was sitting around there shooting the breeze, but I talked to somebody that's working with me. They gave me the go ahead today, and they were serious. I got somebody taking me on to do a life story on me to write a book.
Oh,
I just want y'all to pray for me on that, because I was just shooting the breeze one time with somebody about this, and I come to find out they really interested in my life from how I went, everything. She just said I have to be honest, and they're gonna record me and everything. I went from dope to hope. So they want to know my life story and write a book. So just pray for me on that, and I'll keep you posted. But I don't want to get the big head like I did with the house. But I be taking these nuggets and I take them somewhere. So your work is not in vain, man. I'm telling you, this is my second step with you now. So we'll go with that.
Amen.
All right.
That's good. Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining and for making the conversation amazing with all of your input. If you're watching and you live, in Gainesville and not too far, come visit with us on Sunday. Church starts at 10:45 a.m. And if you are looking to be a part of an online community, if you go to gbgville.com, we do have an online financial wellness community and many other communities as well. And I am going to end it there, and I'll let my dad close out with any final words that he might want to say.
All right. Wonderful. Did a great job. Great discussion.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today for our monthly financial wellness conversation. And your good financial health relieves a lot of stress. And but it takes preparation, it takes intentionality. And I thank Kiara for sharing the resources. I thank everyone that comes on the Zoom platform for the questions and the conversation. And thank everybody that watches virtually for sharing it with your family and your friends. And so I'll see you soon. God bless you and have a wonderful week.
Same to you. Good night.